Don't just do rent to SA, and here's why. Hello, my name's Mark Fitzgerald. It's great to have you joining me here today. Why shouldn't you do rent to SA, rent to serviced accommodation? Well, you should, but it's not the only thing or the only way you should be looking at doing deals. Rent to SA seems to be a massive buzzword at the moment. If you cannot afford to buy property or you cannot get your hands on property from people that you know, then it seems to be the next best thing when doing serviced accommodation. Now, I'm here to say that rent to SA is fine. I've done it myself, okay? But it's not the be all and end all. I see and I speak to a lot of people that want to get started. They want to build a sustainable serviced accommodation business, but they keep saying to me, Mark, I can't do it until I've saved up 10 grand, 6 grand, 20 grand, because I need to put all of this money into the properties. I need to make sure that the properties are good properties. Now, if you're watching this for the first time and you're wondering, what is he on about? Rent to rent is where you take a property and you offer the landlord a guaranteed rent each and every month. In return, you get to use their property. Now, if you can use that for strategies like HMOs, where you let it out by individual rooms, or by serviced accommodations, holiday lets, short-term rentals. So this is what I'm talking about, serviced accommodation here. So you're going to find a landlord, you're going to offer them a guaranteed rent, take on all the utilities, and then do serviced accommodation on that property, as long as you're allowed to do so, which is great, but it's not the only way you can do things. If you do things just like that, then you will find that they are expensive, okay? You will need money, because if you've got a single let, a buy-to-let property, a lot of the time it will come with no furniture in, and it will probably come pretty bland and plain. You may need to paint it, you may need to get new carpets, or you might not, but you will need to put furniture more than likely in it. Even if it has some furniture, you'll still probably need to put furniture in yourself and to jazz it up a bit, depending on the different clients that you want to put into it. And that can cost you anything from a couple of grand up to 6 grand, 9 grand, depending where you are and the spec that you want. So you do need a lot of money to get started in serviced accommodation if that's the way you're going to start. But we show our clients how to get started in serviced accommodation for just a few £100s. Basically, for a few £100s of setting up your systems, making sure you're compliant, making sure that everything is safe, you can start in serviced accommodation. How? You could use a management strategy, but you can take properties on as a management agent, very much like a letting agent is on a buy-to-let, where they just receive a percentage of the rent each and every month. So say, for argument's sake, normally 10%, they'll get paid 10% off of the gross rent, and then the landlord gets the rest. The landlord has to sort everything else out, but that's how they work. You can do the same on serviced accommodation when you know what you're doing. And if you do find landlords where you can do it as a management agreement, serviced accommodation, you're normally looking at between 18 to potentially 22% of the profit. So in other words, if you have about a 70% occupancy of your serviced accommodation properties, you should be looking to make about £750 to £1,000 a month on a deal and a property that hasn't cost you any money to set up, because the landlords, it's their responsibility to set it up. It's their responsibility to pay the bills. They are going to get the lion's share of the profits. We are just going to take, let's say for argument's sake, 20% off for running the property, for managing it, for serviced accommodation, short-term rentals. This is something that you can do right here and right now. And if you want us to show you how to do that, we can do. We've had a lot of students that have come to us. Some of them already got rent to rents, but are now doing management. Some of them got rent to rents and are now incorporating it with the management strategy, and some are just going straight for either joint ventures or management, because we show people different ways to do serviced accommodation deals and to build a sustainable serviced accommodation business on the Ultimate Serviced Accommodation Business Builder Training Program. But we have, if you click on the link up here, we do have a free ebook that will explain this more to you. I'll also put a description in the comments as well, where we'll explain to you how you can do these strategies and how you can maximize it. So if you're sat there now and you're thinking to yourself, I've got a couple of grand and it's just not enough to do a rent to SA, so I need to save some more, you could actually invest that into your knowledge, into your training, into learning, whether that's with us or with somebody else, but go do your due diligence and get yourself out there. Know what it is you're doing. It'll save you a fortune in the long run. I always say to people, because I get so excited about this, because I know for a fact that we've got an amazing product, that if you're interested in this and you want to see our product, then reach out to us. hello@thepropertyunleashed.com is the email. Email us. We'll email you back. Make sure you check your spam boxes and everything. Not saying we send out spam, but things just end up in boxes, and we can show you the product. Either myself or a member of my team will be more than happy to answer your questions and run through it with you. But look at doing management deals for serviced accommodation. Make sure you know what you're doing, because if you're going to offer a service to somebody, you can't learn that service through podcasts or YouTube videos or books or anything. You need to know exactly what it is you're doing, because if you're not compliant for any reason, you won't know you're not compliant. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know. But you can start this up for, I'd say, under £500. So if you are looking at building a sustainable serviced accommodation business, you need to be looking at the different strategies and not just thinking rent to SA like everybody else will tell you. The reason I know about these strategies, or all the different strategies, is because I always invest in myself. And Graham Lindley, who is our resident serviced accommodation expert, who has built up a serviced accommodation business over the last 7 years to nearly 300 units now, he knows his stuff. And he also has survived COVID. He's survived recessions. How has he done that? Because he's not just rent to SA. He's rent to SA. He's management. He's joint ventures. And he's also turning his own properties into serviced accommodation. He's diversified his business. Okay? So, when there's a major problem, i.e. COVID hit, shut down the holiday let industry, apart from key workers, a lot of people did well out of that. Most of his rivals went out of business. So he was able to mop up a lot of deals because he wasn't just paying these guaranteed rents all the time. He had management services there. And of course, if the properties aren't making money, he's not making money, but it's not costing him money either. So do make sure you think about these things. You think about how you can diversify your own portfolio in whatever it is you're going to be doing. Check out thepropertyunleashed.com to get the free ebook on serviced accommodation, and make sure that you're not just have tunnel vision going down one road thinking it's rent to SA, it's rent to SA, I need about 10 grand, so I'm going to start saving 10 grand to do this. And then I'll tell you what, if it took you 6 months, 12 months to save that 10 grand, you've got to look at the cost of that. You might be saying, well, what's the cost, Mark? The cost is all of the missed opportunities that you could have had in that time that you were saving the money. I'm not saying don't save money. If you've got nothing, best thing to do is to save money, because it'll help you. It'll sharpen your pencil and it will show you that you're serious, because you're sacrificing things to save money. But if you want to get started now, you can do it for a lot less than you think. You just need to know what you're doing. And this is the one thing that I do say to everybody out there. I always was in my own way. As soon as I got out of my own way and I started to surround myself in communities with like-minded people, getting the training and the knowledge that I needed, but equally surrounding myself with people that I could ask questions to, that I could stay in the communities, that I could stay with them and help them, and they would help me, my businesses have skyrocketed. And I want the same for you. That's the reason I put this channel together. That's the reason we make videos, we make podcasts, we make free tools and resources, So check out thepropertyunleashed.com, get your free tools and resources, get your head in the game, understand what it is you want to do, and if you need any help on that, feel free to reach out to us or reach out to me on social media. You can even leave a comment, if potentially you can leave a comment wherever you're listening or watching this. But reach out to me on social media. I'll never reach out to you first and try and sell you cryptocurrencies, because that's not what I do. But if you reach out to me, either myself or a member of the team will get back to you and we'll help and support you and move you forward. But I do hope you've liked this video. I do hope it's given you a bit of food for thought. And if it has, please feel free to share it, like it, subscribe to it, leave a comment, give us some love, tag me in if you are sharing it or subscribing or anything like that. And I will show you some appreciation, because what goes around in life comes around, and we are here to help each other. So, until the next time, you take care. Keep focusing on that vision. Keep making sure that you're learning all the time, and look after yourself. Bye for now.